Hi there, I'm Lyndon Thorpe. This is Mindful Moments, Touch Your Heart Every Day, 3. And I'm here on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to help you lay down a foundation of mindfulness, though I prefer to call it mindlessness, to sustain your busy life. Welcome if you're here for the first time. You're making a great choice, investing some time and energy in your balance. So mindful practices balance your body, spirit, and mind, and you need all three of those, not just the mind. And yes, in these days, we're finding there are lots of cases of burnout and imposter syndrome and all sorts of negative syndromes which are coming from the lack of balance between body, spirit, and mind. So let's get started quite soon. There are a couple of things that you need to do to get full benefit from this practice. One is to have your spine vertical. In other words, not leaning, if possible, on a chair or anything else, with the crown of your head going up, the base of your spine going down if you're sitting, and if you're standing, that's great, the soles of your feet going down into the earth. So if your spine is vertical for just the next 20 minutes, then you will get full benefit from this. And also, in a moment, I'll ring the bell. Excuse me. I'll ring the bell, which I do to start every session. And the moment you detect the vibration of my bell, then please just allow your eyelids to fall. But don't close your eyes entirely, because then you'll become drowsy, perhaps. And this practice means or needs heightened awareness. Your awareness is something I need for the next 20 minutes. Contrary to what you may think, it's not just about relaxation, it's about heightening your awareness so that you can notice what you're not noticing. And I will guide you to do that. So, please let your eyelids fall and then just leave a gap, a rim of light at the bottom of your gaze. Look at the tip of your nose. That will help you to, or just below the tip of your nose, that will help you to stay awake and alert, whilst also closing down the visual field. Okay, let's get started. Here we go. Wonderful. So just allow yourself to move down into your inner core, away from the domination of the visual and the intellectual mind, which we do for long periods of time, looking at screens and so on. That's the way things are in the digital revolution. So just really allow a little time, and gradually you'll acclimatize to the inner core. This practice is essential every single day, and you won't really find any results if you just do it occasionally. You need to do it systematically every single day for at least 30 days, and then you will see some big changes, some real transformations. So please think about that, and this is investing in your future, and the future is everything. Yeah. So let's get started. Okay. Now, as you come down into the inner core, you'll notice maybe two things. The first one is your breath. Yeah, we breathe between 22 and 24,000 times every 24 hours. How often do we notice it? Though we take it for granted. And during this practice, we can really give it some attention. It's remarkable that the breath is constantly there, that oxygen is provided by the earth, and that our bodies can process it. It's remarkable. It's a miracle, really. So you'll probably be aware of your breath, and that's great. Breathe with your breath, consciously breathing. This kind of conscious breathing has huge benefits, especially if you're getting older. It will keep your lungs big and expanded, and that way you'll have a much better chance of living happily into your old age. Now, the second thing you may notice is your tendency to generate words and even images as I speak. Now, you don't need to do that. I'm here to guide you. This practice is very well researched and practiced. I've been doing it for years with people. So just follow my voice and just bring yourself away from that tendency gently, because you don't need images, you don't need words. They're symbols. We need them in the visual field to process our lives, but here in the invisible field, we don't need them at all. So just resist doing that. Wonderful. Those two things are the main things. So let's get started. Stage 1. Please bring all the energy and light and heat of your mind, your laser mind, into a laser beam. Channel it into a beam of light and heat. Away from distractions, you can put all that energy, all the energy of your mind, into creating that laser beam, and then slowly and steadily move that beam outside your immediate environment. Outside the windows and walls and roofs, if you're in a car, outside the car. And if you're outside already, that's fine, but as far afield as you can. We're going to project your laser as far afield as we can. And we're going to start now scanning the exterior environment, little by little, with your laser, and we're looking to detect any vibrations of any kind. They may be large, they may be small, and you're going to do this with the heat and light of your mind, but also with the motivation that if you detect vibrations as far afield as possible, then you're going to really stimulate your vagus nerve. And this is something many of us cannot and do not do because we live in cities. But in your mind's eye, you can scan as far afield as you like, beyond all the buildings, beyond all the whatever you find, into the real heart of the land. And we're going to use the whole body to detect any vibration, from the crown of your head right down to the tips of your toes and the soles of your feet, like a tiger in a jungle, stalking through the steaming jungle. And every single vibration, no matter how tiny or how large, represents either the next meal or a threat. So the skin pores and the hair follicles of this tiger are aware, every single one of them. And you're going to do that now. You're going to imagine this, and you're going to scan the outside environment with every skin pore, every hair follicle. And when you encounter a vibration, you're going to accept, you're going to pause first, then accept, and then move on. Continue with the vibrations. Scan above, below, to the left, to the right, in front, and behind. Scan meticulously, as far afield as you can. Tribal peoples who live with nature can detect vibrations at between 7 and 10 miles away. They listen with their whole bodies, and we can do it too. This is a tremendous skill. We use it in meditation and various mindful practices because it stimulates the vagus nerve, and the vagus nerve is the 10th cranial nerve, which really is the master feedback nerve. Starts in the brain, comes down the sides of your face, right down into your chest and down into the gut, into your arms. And if it's in good condition, it will give feedback to your brain. And many of us are not hearing these signals because the tone of our vagus nerve is poor, because we live in the wrong kind of way. And we're missing the signals of distress, which the body is often sending. Now, this is what happens with burnout. We don't hear the signals, and then it becomes too late, and we have to go through the process of burning out before we can recover. But if you use whole body listening, then you can detect those signals of distress long before the danger point is passed. And in the background, as you scan meticulously your outer environment, your breath, constant, totally reliable unless you've had an accident or some kind of disease, and it sustains everything you do. It's remarkable that we have this opportunity to breathe naturally on planet Earth. Okay, let's move to stage 2. In stage 2, please bring that laser beam, hot and bright, slide it gently into your environment, inside your environment, inside your walls and ceilings, inside your roof. If you're in a car, inside your car, and if you're outdoors, at a 30-meter radius around you. And we're going to do the same thing. Scan the interior environment above, below, to the left, to the right, in front, and behind. Scan right up into your corners in the ceiling, right down to the corners of the floor, underneath your furniture, if you're in your car or a vehicle, right up to the edge of your interior, and if you're outdoors, right up to your 30-meter radius, scanning with your whole body from the crown of your head to the tips of your toes. And when you encounter a vibration, pause, accept, and move on. No need to guess, no need to label. We don't need symbols or labels here in the inner core. Just accept. And in the background, always your breath, constantly supporting you and sustaining you in whatever you do. Feel great gratitude for this breath, which is a remarkable opportunity. The planet provides the oxygen. It's the only planet we know that does. And we can then use our remarkable bodies, 100% evolved, to process that oxygen, retain the nutrients, expel the harmful components, and survive and thrive. So take a moment to feel deep gratitude for this fabulous opportunity. Without it, we would not exist within 4 minutes. Wonderful. Okay, let's move to stage 3. I beg your pardon, stage 3. Please bring your laser mind with all its heat and light inside your body, right down to the tips of your toes, and start to scan along the tops of your feet, along the soles of your feet towards the heels, with the heat and light of your laser, illuminating any darknesses, detecting any vibrations, remembering the muscles and the bones vibrate. We can't hear them because we're not practiced enough, but tribal peoples can, and also meditators can. Really detect every vibration as you start to move up into the ankle joints, making space inside the joint, softening the cartilage, allowing a greater range of movement. And then let's move up the lower leg little by little, scanning little by little upwards. And eventually you'll come across the calf muscles. These are often very hard through poor posture or tiredness. So take the heat and light of your mind inside those muscles and soften them. Then eventually up into the knee joints. Same thing, joints need space and heat and light. So use your mind to provide those and make your knee joints really soft. Then we start on the thigh, the longest bone and muscle in most humans. And we're going to scan systematically, maybe vertically if you're standing or horizontally if you're sitting. Let's scan, leaving no dark corner, missing no vibration. Scan slowly along or up the thigh. And eventually you'll encounter the torso. And at the base of the torso is your base chakra. And this is a real, it's a collection of nerves that get very hot. And in fact, this is where we generate most of our energy from. If you feel really tired, you probably feel it in your low back first. So let's scan through the base chakra. Then we come across the coccyx bones. These are 3, 4, 5 tiny bones at the end of your spine. They're the remnants of a tail from when you were a different kind of mammal. We'll scan up through those. Then we encounter the chunky bones of the base, the lumbar spine. These are weight-bearing, so they're really quite big and chunky, and there's a white disc of cartilage in between each to keep them from scraping together, and also to protect the spinal cord, which goes down through the center of them. And then let's scan up through those chunky bones, and then up through the pelvis, and then into the lower back, at the back of the body, scanning bone, disc, and up past the intestines, bone, disc, and of course they're getting smaller now. As we get to the top part of the spine, the bones are smaller, the discs are smaller. So keep scanning, bone, disc, looking for vibrations, illuminating with your power beam up past the solar plexus, which is the center of gravity of the body, and then up past the diaphragm, which is the breathing muscle. And eventually you encounter the rib cage, and inside the rib cage are all the major organs, but the most important are your heart and lungs. And the heart is a large pulsing organ. You can easily detect your heartbeat. And please understand that your heart emanates waves of electromagnetic waves that are 60% stronger than your brain. So climb up behind your heart, bone, disc, and then you come to the top part of the chest, and here the lungs are sighted, and the lungs are flickering away all the time, 24/7, processing oxygen to allow you to survive and thrive. Climb up behind the lungs, bone, disc, and eventually you come to the notch on the back of your neck, and from here on, the neck spine is much finer, smaller bones, bone, disc, and eventually it disappears up inside the skull, bone, disc, and then right at the crown, right at the top of the spine, is the atlas joint, and this is where the skull pivots. It's not attached to the spine, your skull. It's held there by muscles, so the head, neck, back muscles are tremendously important. So, there you have it. You're right at the crown of the head. Your spine is lengthened by pure power of your mind. No stretching, no doing. You have lengthened your spine by at least 1 centimeter. Your lungs are working beautifully. The breath is deepened. You feel wonderful. Your vagus nerve is toned up. And you are ready to look out into the visual world in a completely new way. When you detect the vibrations of my bell, please allow your eyelids to float open and stare gently ahead. Wonderful. So if you feel as good as I do, then I'm so thrilled. And if you do, please leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. This is an essential practice to help you look out into the visual world in a very softened way. Compare it with how you looked out when we first started. Softened muscles around and behind your eyes, wonderful deep breathing, your spine is lengthened, the crown going up, your soles and the base of your spine going down into the earth. You're really connected between heaven and earth. And nobody can pull you out of that. This is your kingdom. So stay with these feelings as long as you can today. And I'll see you next week on Tuesday. I'm here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And if you would like to continue with the practice, then please explore my product. It's called Lodestone 1. I'll leave the details in the comments under this window. And you can do this practice whenever you like, and I'll be there to guide you. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.